There are a lot of myths about emotions, and the pervasive messages or psychological myths that are part of what people have been bombarded with from infancy onwards are fueled by societal reinforcements. They give us misleading information and false expectations about what and how we should or should not feel, or perhaps what we should and should not reveal, express, or behave like. Nobody is perfect, and nobody can be perfect. Why do I say that? Very simple. Because we are learning creatures. Because we're learning all the time. So if you're perfect, well, what more do you have to learn? It's only imperfection that creates a need for learning. And I'd rather be imperfect until 2 minutes before I die. And then probably the lesson would be too long for me to live past that anyway. Emotions cannot be changed by willpower, or will not power, if you will. Just a joke. But you start to realize that emotions simply are that. Emotions are simply emotions. And when you begin to realize that emotions are all simply just emotions, you cannot create an emotion. You can enhance it by what you think. You can make it bigger, lesser, or whatever the case might be. So by adulthood, the myth of good and bad feelings has done considerable damage to most people's natural responses. Why do men keep such a tight rein on their emotions? Because the societal consequences can be quite brutal. We fear being judged as unmanly, so the myth of control wreaks incredible havoc on men. This myth is likely the reason that men enter therapy to begin with. By embracing your emotions rather than subduing them, this is the only way that you will learn to orchestrate, maybe even master them. This myth of positive thinking derives its power because it's partly true. How we think about something does affect the way we feel about it. So understanding the connection between our thoughts and feelings is a pivotal element of self-knowledge. It's not what happens around us that is the problem. It's how we perceive what happens around us. And those perceptions create the feelings, and the feelings in turn start to create a vicious cycle that generates a whole succession of thoughts that come automatically. An automatic thought can take the form of intuitive knowledge without words or images. They are sense impressions, if you will. A kind of phrase that people tend to use. I knew I shouldn't have gone there. I just knew that this was going to be a waste of time. So the problem is that it becomes so automatic that you don't have time to analyze them. They are so rigid that you can't modify them to fit any changing situations. And you get viewed at by the outside world as being somebody who's relatively inflexible, mentally and emotionally.